Welcome to a video demonstration of SP Intranet, part of SP Marketplace Digital Workplace Solutions Suite. SP Workplace Solutions is a set of modules that we provide built on SharePoint that provide you a full operational portal structure. You can purchase any of the modules separately or put them together to complete your operational portal. They work with Office 365 and are built on SharePoint Online natively. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the intranet homepage. The intranet homepage is more than just an intranet. With the intranet, you get the typical things you'd see in an intranet: news, announcements, events. You also see other things like a blog, employee directory, discussions, and also navigation and personalized links for users. The key thing here is to make it so that it's interesting for the users through targeted content and specific audience-based links as well. But further, it actually fits with its other modules in the suite to provide an active portal structure. And what that means is that you will never see that the content will go stale. You're not going to have a content manager running around to find out what the latest news is. It can actually get news from different parts of the organization. So departments such as HR, IT, or marketing can be putting in their department portals down there, different news items, announcements, and so on. And if it is something that should be applied or shown to the whole organization, they can actually check off a box and it will push the content up to the intranet homepage. The content manager up there will get an alert, and in the content dashboard they can actually go in, review these, approve them, target them, and actually put display options for the intranet homepage. So this is really active portal content that's coming from the operation every day, such that, again, content doesn't go stale. It's brought forth by the natural activities of the operation. Now, these are actually built natively on SharePoint Online or also runs on SharePoint on-premise. But we built them natively on SharePoint and Office 365. They are no-code solutions. They are actually site templates out there and provisioned through the new provisioning methods that are out there. They are no-code, 100% customizable by Power Business users. And they are total solutions. They are not pieces and parts and web parts. They are best practice design that, again, can be changed. We follow Microsoft guidelines so that we are not impacted by the monthly changes Microsoft puts out to Office 365 and SharePoint Online. But the other thing, too, is because it is native, we can take advantage of different types of services they bring out, like most recently Power Apps and MS Flow and other things as part of it. They're designed really to provide a common look and feel experience across Office 365 to really drive that vision of a digital workplace. And we support mobile devices, and it has a responsive design for tablets and phones or whatever your users may be on. There's no need for HTML, CSS, or deep SharePoint expertise by the administrators or the content managers. We've really designed it as a complete solution so that they don't have to get into the back-end portions of that. But if you wanted to, you could. Anyways, it really then becomes the anchor for your digital workplace portal structure, and as I showed earlier here, is integrated with it. So the one thing I can't stress enough is that it is really part of and designed to be part of the Office 365 common user experience. So if you're in the intranet, you can, for instance, go over to your email, look for people in the people part of Office 365. You can actually access, for instance, Power BI. In fact, our department portals and some of the functional portals that we have that have application function in them actually use Power BI as part of those. And for instance, can even link out to things like Planner, OneDrive, and so on. The other unique thing about SP Intranet is that you have 3 flexible deployment options for your look and feel. You can deploy it with the new modern UI, modern user interface in SharePoint. that is available, and we've actually enhanced that quite a bit on the content side and what you can do with it. You can use still the classic user interface, and you can also use it as a communication site in a hub structure. And so overall, it's completely flexible, completely customizable, and it's designed to fit in with whatever you've got. If you've already got classic UI sites you've created, you can deploy it in that. And later, if you go to Modern, there's actually a switch. You don't have to redeploy it. It's within the same module that you can switch over to Modern, and those pages will turn into Modern as well. Very unique. So let's take a look at the product. Hi, I'm going to walk you through now what it's like to go into our SP Intranet site from SP Marketplace. In this case, the company is Radiant Solar, and this is their intranet site. They set this up as their kind of homepage for their organization, and they're going to use it, of course, to drive more communication and collaboration, as well as make it easy for employees to do business inside the organization. So this is part of my Office 365 environment, and this is the home page. It actually comes up automatically when I bring up my browser. And the first thing I see on the top of the page is any of the latest kind of things I need to know. And so I could visit our FAQ, I could see the latest client wins or industry news or the latest blog articles. So I'm just going to go out and check industry news. And it looks like, oh, cool. Looks like solar gets a tariff exemption here, and I'm wondering if that's available to us as well. And so also I could go in and get to any different areas. I could look at our org chart. I could go look at our employee directory. Maybe I want to contact one of our employees. It brings up the people portion of Office 365 directly, so I don't have to go over here and look for the many different icons that are there. This is actually only showing a portion of them. There's the rest of them. And if I want to talk to, for instance, Tom, I just hover over him, and I could talk to him on Skype, send him an email, even pick up the phone and talk with him. And it also shows me the different contacts I've had with him or files I've shared with him too. I could look at my contacts. I could look at the employee directory. I could even go in and see where they fit in the organization or get to my groups from here. The other thing that I can do is we actually use an org chart, web part, or add-on to Office 365. This is from a company called Team Improver. And so I can also dynamically go through our org chart. This was built from our Active Directory, and I can link to it. Now, it's really cool that I can just go up and get to any of these things. I could also find any documents or policies, or here I could go to our time off calendar or any other different application that's in here. I see a message of the day here, and this can change daily if you want. Here's some company announcements. Looks like, order management system's down. That's not good for our Salesforce. I could click on that and find out. It looks like it probably was an alert sent to the Salesforce, because you can actually set different types of announcements, and then based on the type, it could actually send out an alert email to a group. Here's events. Looks like, Solar Expo coming up this week, in fact, too. The other cool thing is I actually set my own link. So if I want to go to my email or my calendar or OneDrive or even my executive dashboard, I can do that. Let's take a look at what's going on here. I typically go to this every morning. And this actually uses Power BI. Some of these are actually from our portals, like our HR portal and CRM, or this actually is linked into our website, so I can see immediately what's going on in the business in real time. And it also connects to some of SP Marketplace's components that use that as well. Another thing I like about this is that I can go to different components that I want to go to. So for instance, if I want to go to my planner and see what things I need to do today, I can do that and go to my planner hub or go into any of the departments that I'm responsible for here and see where projects are at too through planner. Normally I'd have to go here and then all the way down to planner, and then I'd have to look for the departments I want. This gets me right to it from the front page. Same with my email and calendar as well. And I could have gone out there and picked links to our ERP system or even links out to different sites out there, such as here's a stock site that I keep track of. Now also the nice thing here is there's company news. And so I can see the latest things in our industry. This looks like this was sent up by HR. This is relating to a new employee. I'm going to have to send an email to them and welcome to the company there. More things from an RSS feed. So this is a mashup of information from inside the company and outside the company. And this intranet that we recently got is just great. What I love is I can get to it from my phone online. I also get targeted news from targeted at my department or my local news. Oh, there's a farmer's market starting on Thursday too. So overall, I found this to be very helpful. It also, if I need to get to things like if I'm traveling to a certain office, I can go to the offices here, and I'm actually going to go to the Southern California regional office, and if I have to, I can just click and get a map of where our office is there as well, and even get directions from where I'm coming from. So a lot of the quick links here are things that are that we can quickly look at and get information on. They don't change as much as the front page there, but it is nice to get, for instance, local links to find restaurants or reference links related to solar industry here as well. There's even a company blog, and I can actually go in and see the different articles out here. I can make comments as well. And this really kind of brings the whole organization together from a cultural standpoint too. And then finally, on the front page here, the nice thing too is I just heard today that the content manager was going to add in a Twitter feed and also be adding in a employee recognition area down here. And so that's really great as well. And then, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the links catalog here. There may be other things. I'm hoping they put Dilbert link out there so I can get my daily Dilbert too as well. So overall, this is the home page of the SP Marketplace intranet. From here, I can link to, for instance, different department sites. I can link to employee self-service where I could ask for time off or go to the document center and so on. We'll have a separate video on what that's like as well too. So with that, I'll bid you adieu and hope you enjoyed the short demonstration here too. Now I'll take a look at the SP Intranet product from the content manager's view. So content within this is a mixture of standard content from a Microsoft provided template and our content. So for instance, with the Microsoft template, you can't do company links. The message of the day isn't there. Company announcements does not exist. Events is there. The ability to do any targeting or of links or of news or announcements or events is just not possible. So these are all introduced with our own enhanced news, announcements, and events. Now, we can also go in and manage these through the content management dashboard. And this is a dashboard that actually allows us to, for instance, add additional links on that front page, add announcements, but also manage the existing news and announcements, and also approve what comes from other departments, such as, for instance, here, here is company news out here, and it looks like Employee of the Month gets a new Dodge Hellcat. This is not approved. It doesn't show up yet. And if I were to approve it, what I do is I actually open it up. And I did, by the way, get an email alerting me that this had come up from one of the departments. And content, by the way, can be pushed up from our department portals into this. And that's events, news, and announcements. And we can see here that I can go in, and this is all rich content. I can insert videos. I can reorganize things here. But what's different than the standard news that is provided in the Microsoft communications site or other sites is that you do not get any of this metadata to manage it. And so, for instance, I can put this into and target it at a certain office or location, department here. I could actually go in and set a start date and an expire date, and it will actually disappear off the site. It will actually start on a certain date, so I can, start it for next week if I wanted to, if it wasn't something that had to be done today. I can click this to publish to approve it. So I have full content management capabilities with this, and I can also do audience targeting. So I could also go in and add a new blog article, add new local links or reference links as well. And if there was anything else on the page I wanted to do, I could actually add a list and have it appear here to manage. The great thing about this is I don't have to be a SharePoint expert. With the Microsoft standard templates, you actually have to go into site contents and into site pages, and it gets very complex. And so you would have to train your content managers to do that. So let's go take a look at what it would be like to actually edit the page. Now this may be your content manager, or it may be your application administrator. So for instance, from the application administrator role here, we can also go in and change the menus here, assign different permissions. There are permission groups already created for content manager and the administrators. I could upload images to be used on the site, change the logo, and do a number of other things too as well. And so we make it very easy to do this. And there's even a configuration reference which allows me to change different things that are drop downs and other things in content out there as the administrator. So let's go and see how we actually change the page. Now, Microsoft has made it very easy to go in for administrators to go in and change the page. It wasn't that hard before, but I think this actually adds some extra capabilities to it. So using standard SharePoint, I can go in here and modify the page. These are all links to different things. I could go into this web part here and actually change either on this page, what it says here, or even what the image is. Or I could also go and change where it actually links to as well from this. So it's actually changing in the web part itself. These are all web parts that we provide that are specific to our products as well. So the company links here is actually what we call a promoted links web part. It actually works off that promoted links list in the back end. And if I want to change something from this, I can target this at a different list. I could have this actually create smaller tiles, summary tiles like that, or a bulleted list. It does allow me also to change the size of the tiles here or make them smaller as well. And I can even have it use the default SharePoint theme colors as the background, or show title and not show title as well too. So very robust web part to be able to make changes to. And the same thing goes with the My Links out here as well. Company announcements, again, is a web part of ours. We can target it towards a company announcements list and as well to manage those. And basically the display and how they display. Two, our company news is actually our own web part. We do not use the Microsoft web part because it uses wiki pages and it is not very easy to manage, and the governance is just not there for approval or other things. But again, we can go in here, we can show it in different layouts, and we can show previews or make it department aware or not. And the department aware actually, what that does is it looks at the department in the user's Active Directory coming in and can target it down. And we can have it filter just for departments or locations as well in here. So it has the full targeting capability too. Now you can also go in and add other things here. So perhaps I wanted to, in this area, be able to add a Twitter web part. I could do that just by going in and below this, adding a web part and selecting a web part from the different web parts out here. And so we can go in and take a look at this. I think there is a Twitter web part here. I put that in, it drops it in there. It's pointed at Microsoft right now. I'll just leave it there, and I'll just, we can show the Twitter header or turn that off. This is a Microsoft part, and then I can go ahead and close that. And now we see that if I publish this, the Twitter web part now shows up down here. And again, I could add other web parts, I could move things around, but we've added true content management capabilities and targeting capabilities. We've kind of improved upon what Microsoft did overall. We've added the ability to have links driven by lists in the back end, as well as announcements, news, and events driven by lists in the back end. And we added, as we saw earlier, a content manager's dashboard, which makes it much easier for non-SharePoint aficionados to be able to manage the overall home page here. Well, that's an overview from both an employee and the content manager and application administrator perspective. We hope you liked it. See a live demo by filling out a form on our site at www.spmarketplace.com. You can learn about SP Intranet at spmarketplace.com. There we have full sets of videos, webinars, white papers, evaluations, and so on, and you can even ask for a live demonstration for you and your team. Again, visit spmarketplace.com. Thank you for taking the time.